Hello, this is Kimball Bullington, and this is an example template for creating cause and effect diagrams in Excel. So you can create them yourself, as I showed how to do in a previous video, or you can just edit this existing template or one like it. So I have a number of cause categories and the resulting effect, and then some subsidiary or sub-causes within each category. And all you need to do is just click on the text box and then edit it, type in your actual cause category. So this is what it looks like in an example. I created a cause and effect diagram. The desired effect was improved gas mileage in my car, and I used these categories. Instead of machines, I renamed it cars because that's the machine I'm looking at in this example. So going through, I used some cause categories. Just thought about these category headings and what would go under it. So the drivers, the temperament of the driver, and the motivation. This could have been a subcategory. For instance, under gas, I put the octane that I use. Is it 87 octane? Is it basically regular unleaded, or is it unleaded plus? And the brand, does it make any difference if I use a ExxonMobil gasoline versus MAPCO or something like that? Also under materials, I put a spoiler. Adding a spoiler to the rear deck, does that improve gas mileage? Using synthetic oil, having a good paint job or a good slick paint job or wax on your car, does that make any difference? Tires. All of these are ideas that are organized within the appropriate category. So under measurements, I put miles per gallon per tank, and then this would be in the form of a log. The road type, was it a hilly? Was it unimproved, a gravel road, or a rough pavement? And then also a measurement, again, in the form of a log or perhaps checklist in terms of maintenance in the car. Have I had an oil change within the designated period? Under environment, I put traffic, I put distance to work, which really maybe that is the environment. It might not have much to do with improving your miles per gallon. It might, if you had a longer drive that's in light traffic, you might get better miles per gallon. But again, that would be part of the environment. The weather, and of course, you'd be able to relate this. You'd like to be able to relate this to the actual miles per gallon that you get. Your work hours. Are you forced to commute during rush hour traffic, or can you work other hours? And then the gas prices. That doesn't. You might think that doesn't have anything to do with miles per gallon. But as gas prices go up, you might be more conservative in your driving habits. I put hypermiler here. That probably doesn't mean anything to a lot of you, but there are people who compete in improving gas mileage, and so you could study their habits. Starting slowly, I think everybody understands this. Avoiding braking. This might be an idea that you haven't thought about, and in order to avoid braking, I've got to add some distance between my car and the car in front of me, so when he slows down, I don't have to brake. Hypermilers refer to braking as throwing it away, because essentially you could think of it as throwing gasoline away when you brake, or throwing away energy. You've got this kinetic energy, and then I basically throw it away, turn it into heat through friction with my brakes, which doesn't do me any good, at least not in most types of cars. Parking. Again, hypermilers are careful about where they park, and they try to park in such a way that they don't have to back out. Maintenance, again, we've got this under process as well as a log of it over here in measures. Avoiding traffic. Under cars, I've got T100. I drive a T100 pickup, 1998 T100. But I could get a new Prius, and I would improve my gas mileage. I would improve my gas mileage if I got to use Corolla. And this brings into consideration, is this really the right effect that I'm after? Or am I after reduced commuting expense? Sometimes when you create a cause and effect diagram, it leads to other cause and effect diagrams. It leads to a further investigation. So in this case, I created that next step. I said, well, let's try, what does this look like if you put it down as reduced commuting expense? Well, here, some things changed. I'm probably not going to buy a Gen 4 Prius to reduce commuting expenses because the capital expenditure would be too great. But I might look at buying a used Prius, or I might even look at riding my bicycle. Now, that's related to distance to work. I live about 5.5 miles from work. You might not be able to do this unless this was so important to you that you actually moved, which you could do. But the cause and effect diagram leads to rethinking and even using some, maybe even coming up with some radical solutions to the improvement you're trying to create or the problem you're trying to solve. Walking might even be an issue. Now here I've put in a new measurement, which is commute time, because if I do either one of these, bike or walk, then most likely I'm going to increase my commuting time, and it might not be worth it. So this is an example of how to create from a template cause and effect diagrams, customize them, and then even to change them and refine how you make your improvement. Thanks, and good luck.